Shortly before I moved back to New Jersey, I went to my last MegaCon in Orlando. I've been fortunate enough to meet a few Star Wars actors in the past, but this year was special to me. I got to meet John Boyega. Not only did he sign a poster I made in Photoshop, but we got to talking about how neither of us could believe that The Force Awakens was already 10 years old. Even though I was a prequel kid growing up, the sequels were the first time I could experience new Star Wars movies coming out. This trilogy defined my college years, and there are still a lot of us who look back fondly on this era and its characters. So Disney, why do you hate us? How does the company that keeps throwing money at shitty live-action remakes ignore a movie trilogy that made them billions? I don't think we'll ever see hype like the build-up to The Force Awakens ever again. I remember looking up news and rumors. I remember where I was when the first teaser dropped. I remember sneaking a look at the second teaser during school. And then, the day came. The last day of my first semester of college. I finished my last final, and I hopped on a shuttle to my local movie theater to see one of the most anticipated movies of my life. And 10 years later, I still love this movie. You want to know why me and John Boyega was so special to me? Because Finn was the first thing that made me love the sequel era. Breaking away from the only life he's known because he knows it's wrong. Discovering people who accept him for who he is. Learning to stand up for himself. I love Finn, and I hate that they made him a side character going forward. I like how Kylo Ren was actually a conflicted villain, wanting to purge whatever light is left in him, but knowing deep down that he loves his family. Rey, she was good. I think most of my enjoyment of Rey in this movie comes from Daisy Ridley's acting. She fucking kills it. That's not to say I think she's a bad character in this movie. I just don't think she experiences that much growth here. I also think it's funny that they tried to make us think Poe was dead, despite all the footage that we had seen in the promos. All that said, The Force Awakens is my comfort Star Wars movie. It's just a reminder of simpler times when everyone was excited for Star Wars again. Take me back. I love The Last Jedi so much. And I look forward to my address getting posted after this video gets uploaded. Look, I understand this movie's flaws. The casino subplot doesn't really go anywhere. Finn's arc is too similar to his one in The Force Awakens. And Leia flying looks stupid as hell. Although the Holdo maneuver foreshadowing is pretty clever. But I feel like I tend to overlook this stuff because when this movie hits, it hits. I love Rey's arc. Someone who comes from nowhere trying to find her place in the galaxy and searching for belonging. The choice to make her related to nobody important was one of the best things this movie could have done. It's not exactly a huge revelation, but rather a nice reminder that most Jedi that we love didn't come from famous bloodlines. This was the movie where Kylo Ren became one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars. I love that we get to see him become his own man in this movie. I also just love the dynamic between these two. Believe it or not, you can like their connection without supporting Reylo. I also like that Poe becomes an actual character in this movie. And of course, Luke Skywalker. This version of Luke has gotten me through some of the toughest times in my life. Trust me, I understand what it's like to feel like you've truly fucked up. But if Luke Skywalker can fall and still get back up, then so can I. And for that, I'm forever grateful for this character. I may have wanted OT Luke as a kid, but Last Jedi Luke was someone I needed as an adult. Honestly, I think Force Awakens and The Last Jedi flow beautifully together. And I think it set things up for an exciting finale. And then somehow Palpatine returned. I'll never forget getting out of Rise of Skywalker. Obviously, the fact that they were bringing back Palpatine had me on edge. But as I was coming out, despite a few facepalm moments, I said I liked it. But then I remember getting back to my car and really starting to think about it. Why didn't Rose get much screen time? Wait, who are these new characters? No, seriously, who are they? Did they just sideline Finn and Poe? Wait, they didn't defeat the First Order? I don't like Rise of Skywalker. As a Last Jedi fan, it hurts seeing them try to undo so much of that movie. Oh, Kylo Ren wants to try to become his own man and ends up becoming leader of the First Order? Nope, he rebuilds his helmet and becomes second in command again. Oh, Rey is related to nobody important? Wrong again, she's the granddaughter of the most evil man in the galaxy. Honestly, I'm fine with Rey taking the Skywalker name. I mean, it is kind of her adoptive family at the end of the day. But why would you undo the best decision you could have made for that character? Just because grifters say that Rey is OP? You're fine with a force-healing baby, for Christ's sake! Didn't I say I like this era? And of course I do. I just hate what this movie tries to do. And you know what? Maybe this is why we don't see more sequel content. I don't know if you've noticed, but The Last Jedi was, at best, controversial. So controversial that Disney decided to cower to the grifters and practically undo it for Rise of Skywalker. And by trying to please everyone, they pleased no one. And now I feel like Disney's just scared to revisit that era. Now, if I can give George Lucas one thing, it's that when people hated the prequels, which yes did happen no matter how much the grifters try to rewrite history, he didn't give up on that era. He made a 7-season show dedicated to expanding the era and its characters, and now the prequel era is one of the most beloved eras in the franchise. Meanwhile, sequel fans don't even get scraps nowadays. And with the new Jedi Order movie stuck in development hell and the recent original trilogy rebranding of Galaxy's Edge and Anaheim, it sometimes feels like Disney's just abandoned us. I mean, the kids who grew up on the sequel trilogy are around the age where they can start having a voice on the internet, and they don't even have anything new to show for it. And it sucks. I understand why we can't have a Clone Wars type of show, because having your whole trilogy set within a year doesn't give you a lot of breathing room. But show us the origin of the First Order. Have a season of Tales of the Jedi about Luke training Ben and Leia training Rey. Develop Finn. If you can bring back a glup shitto from the Clone Wars movie that most casual fans know nothing about, you don't really have an excuse. Look, even if you don't like sequel fans, we matter. We matter just as much as any other Star Wars fan. Prequel fans matter. Legends fans matter. Hell, Shin Hati fans matter. At the end of the day, we all matter. And I just wish Disney would see that. And I just hope that Starfighter is good, because maybe it'll launch a revival of sequel fans. And with that, I'll leave you with one more anecdote from that MegaCon. After I asked him a question at his panel, I said to John Boyega, "Get Filoni on the phone as soon as you can." And he said, "I'm trying." Was he joking? Or is there a new hope?